Hello my friends and welcome back to Italy, a place to love YouTube channel. Okay, so today I want to talk about that the situation in Europe is deteriorating. Now, I'm not happy to make this type of video because, to be honest, I always want to be optimistic, and I always want to see the good side and not the negative side of the things. But unfortunately, the way the things are going, I have to say that there is a kind of fear now in Europe and about the situation that is happening, in the Ukrainian war. Okay, so let's talk about this topic. If I want to go a bit far from this point of view, I can start from the moment, for example, I decided to relocate here in the south of Italy. So the topic of my channel is relocating here in the south of Italy. And anyway, even if I came from a country anyway that is not really exposed anyway in this war situation, I'm talking about Ireland. But what convinced me, for example, to leave Ireland was the fact that I was living in a big city. Okay, I was living in the capital of Ireland, I was living in Dublin. Dublin is a big city, and so there was a certain kind of unsafety of living in a big city. Now, I didn't have the chances, for example, to relocate in a smaller place in Ireland. For example, I was looking for the chance to move in counties, for example, that are not really high populated. But to be honest, because anyway, I wasn't local, it was hard for me to um, move my job, for example, from one place to another. Also, my wife had only the chance to work in Dublin. So for this reason, and because I didn't want to live anymore in a city, me and my wife, we simply said, okay, what are we gonna do? And so then we start, but this is already back in 2021, 2022, even before the war started, because I was feeling that something wasn't going, let me say, normal, that things were escalating kind of slowly, but at the same time also fast, in the meaning that we could have witnessed big changes simply without even noticing that there are already big changes. And so if I consider, for example, from 2021 up to now, if I'm thinking if I took the right decision, my answer is still yes. And so the decision of relocating here to the south of Italy actually was mainly to move in a place, let me say, trying to find the safest place where to stay. For example, if things are escalating badly and things go out of control, and we find ourselves unprepared in front of, let me say, a certain kind of situation, okay? And so we start investigating a bit in Europe. Okay, we could have decided, for example, for the southern part of Spain or for a Greek island. Let me say, for a place where even if an escalation starts, let me say, we would have found ourselves anyway kind of safe from the food point of view. Also because anyway, if you're living in a big city can be a target, for example, or living close to a big military base. So, for example, for all these reasons, I simply said, okay, the north of Italy, no. So, you know, who is following my channel knows that I was born in the north of Italy. So, that for me, anyway, I was avoiding all the north of Italy, because for me, north of Italy is like France, is like Germany, is like Belgium, is like Holland. I mean, at the moment, I see these places, UK, also UK, I see these places totally, totally unsafe. And so, but I'll go back later to the unsafety for me in these places. Let's talk about the things that are getting worse from one side, and from the other side, again, the way that I had to find a place where in Europe, by the fact that I couldn't leave Europe, for example, because anyway I could have said, okay, let's move to Thailand, let's move to Philippines, I don't know, let's move to Venezuela, let's move to Uruguay. Uruguay, I love this country, for example, or Paraguay, some places in South America that you never hear anything, for example. So the most unheard places, the most forgotten places in the world. For example, these are the best places where to live, I think, nowadays. I say, what is the most forgotten place in Europe at the moment? A place where people are living, where nobody wants to live, not even immigration want to stay, not even immigrants want to stay. So, where is a place where technically I could find a better way to live, let me say, in case of things are escalating badly? And then I decided for Montemilone, simply because Basilicata is a small region of south of Italy. It's all made of small towns that are 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 inhabitants. So I pick up on purpose. Anyway, this town very small. Now, if a place is very small, why it should be, for example, a target? Now, I consider that in Italy, many places, if we are going to now an escalation of war, and let's enter into this topic, because things at the moment, it seems that are really, really, really getting worse and worse and worse daily. I don't want to enter too much in the political side of this story, because for me, politicians are all of them useless. I mean, I'm totally against politicians. I don't go to vote. It's 15 years that I don't go to vote. I will never go to vote anymore in my life. Probably because I'm saying these things in my video. Probably my video is gonna be even banned, maybe, I don't know. I don't care too much. But I don't trust in the politicians. If I trusted in the politician, yes, I would say, okay, I can go to vote. If I had some returns from a politician, let's see the let me use this word, the mafia side of these things. You know, okay, I have some returns, I'm connected to some a party, a politician party, I'm connected, so I have my return, okay, I can go to vote. This is mafia, exchange, okay? Mafia is mainly this. If anyone wants to understand what the mafia is exchanging of favors, okay? I'm in this position, you are in this position, I give you this, you give me that. That is already mafia. Mafia is not what they're showing in the movies. Believe me, nowadays that concept is far, far from illegal things. Illegal things are not even anymore considered by the mafia. Mafia is already into the system, exchanging favors. And I witnessed this everywhere. I witnessed this everywhere in Europe. Wherever I've been, the mentality now of the people is exchanging. I'm getting this little favor, I give you this little favor. Anyway, so I cannot trust politicians at all. I think in their bringing, by watching the news. Now, I'm making this video today because I watch the news. And to be honest, it's extremely scary about what our politicians are saying. I mean, instead of trying to soften things, instead of trying to talk about peace. But nowadays, who is talking about peace, guys? Who? Who? Find me one person who is mentioning peace in their speech. Zero. Zero. I know one or two who are talking about peace, but they will never tell you who these people are. Anyway, the thing is this, nobody's talking about peace. Now I was watching in the last few days that Germany and France wants to send troops to Ukraine. But what Europe has to do with this war, to be honest? Where is the involvement of Europe in this war? What is the goal of Europe, for example? Do we want to conquer Russia? Say openly that we want to conquer Russia, don't you? I mean, it's not that much difficult to say openly the things. Oh, we want to put our hands in all the natural Russian resources. Fine, say openly. You should have sent troops actually 3 years ago. Why only now? We are late now. Or in the news, for example, about Germany, now talking about the bunkers. Where to put yourself, where to save yourself in case atomic bombs are gonna be thrown on your country. Why they should be thrown? Why now we are discussing about giving nuclear weapons to Ukraine, for example? Why? So we want the situation, our politicians, our governments wants an escalation, wants the situation to get worse. Okay, so it's really worrying, the situation at the moment. And this is why, for example, I go back to this small town. I'm always saying to myself, why a small town like Montemilone should be a target? For what? For what the reason? Then let's talk about prepping. Okay, so then I can start talking only about prepping on this channel. My goal was totally another one, but the way the things are going, so then I have to start saying, okay, I've been searching for a place, for example, that has kind of food all year around, that I don't have to run here and there desperately, but there are some locals who are producing and they might help each other, for example, if situation is deteriorating. For example, I give you this, you give me that, we exchange, we go back to barter. Barter, I think, is the way people exchange, and I give you this, you give me that. Anyway, that's the thing. Or, for example, there are spring waters. Here, for me, what is important, for example, if the situation is going to deteriorate even more. Anyway, safety first. And to be honest, I think I've took the right decision at the right moment. Anyway, simply because for me, big cities are always big targets. Now, I don't consider Ireland, for example, as a target, but Ireland has the problem that it is close to UK, and UK is extremely in favor of this war. UK was the first country who pushed this war against Russia by using Ukraine in a proxy way, because at the moment everyone knows that Ukraine country is a proxy country. I mean, all Europe and maybe also United States are using simply this country to go at war against someone that is an enemy, okay, that we call enemy. But this country never blackmailed, for example, to invade, to destroy. They simply said from the very beginning, no, Ukraine shouldn't be part of NATO. For example, Russia never say no for Ukraine to be part of the European community. Why European community didn't allow Ukraine to enter in the European community before the war started? And you know why it didn't enter? Because it wasn't a democracy. That was the reason why Ukraine couldn't join. I'm talking even before 2014. Before 2014, Ukraine had the chance to enter, and Russia was actually helping Ukraine to enter and to join the European community. And the European community said no. So European community and also United States are using this country. And they want an escalation. They want the things to get worse. They want fear mongering. They want people to live in fear. They want now people discussing, oh, I should build a bunker underground where to save myself in case of nuclear bombs. But come on, why someone should use nuclear bombs? We're gonna see the nuclear bombs used only when someone wants to use it. If there's nobody who wants to use this bomb, nobody is going to use it. But if there is the will to use it, someone will use it. It's very simple and clear. What Russia asked, for example, to NATO, don't put more weapons at our border, our security. I mean, but this is a very easy concept. I mean, only idiots cannot understand the concept that if I have my neighboring expanding toward my border, toward my fences, and then start pointing guns toward my fences, what should I do then? What? You must tell me. I have to protect myself. And this is what Russia is doing. You are keep pointing rockets, missile systems towards my nation. You are getting closer and closer and closer towards my nation. I want to see, for example, if Russia if Mexico decide to take Russian nuclear bombs and put at the border with United States, what the Americans are gonna do to Mexico. I really would like to know what the Americans are gonna do. I mean, from this point of view, I know most of my subscribers are Americans, and maybe they might not like what I'm saying, but I think I'm only simply using the brain. Here, we don't have to use 100% of our body. It's enough to use the 2%. When the Russians said, for example, when there was the Cuban missile situation back in the 50s, the Americans said, no, take them out straight away, or we're gonna destroy Cuba, simply. And so the agreement was, okay, we don't want Cuba to be destroyed. The Russians took these weapons far from. I mean, each time someone is pointing you a gun, or whatever is pointing closer to you, obviously, if I'm able to protect myself, I will do my best to protect and to keep you away. Again, back to the fact that Russia was agreed with EU, with Ukraine, and joined the EU. And the EU said no. Simply because EU is not a military alliance. EU is an economical alliance. So they should have allowed. That would open a lot of doors, for example, to Ukraine. They could have traded. Believe me, there's nothing better than a neutral position on this planet. If you are a neutral country, you can deal with everyone. There are agreements, okay? Then, if someone is breaching the agreements, that is another story. I could be the first, for example, who is saying, okay, if you don't do this, if the escalation is not growing, for example, and then you see that someone is escalating and escalating and escalating, I might say, yes. But simply, again, and this is not even everything about what happened in Ukraine anyway. But back to the unsafety here in Europe, now we are at the highest level, okay? So basically, they are talking about sending troops. They are talking about bunkers. They are talking that we have to keep giving weapons, but these weapons didn't help to win. Now it's more than 1,000 years, more than 1,000 days that this war started. What did we achieve by helping Ukraine? Only, you know what did we achieve? Only a lot of deaths. Happy days. You know, that's what happened in Ukraine up to now. And it seems like the European politicians and the American politicians are not doing anything to improve the situation. So in the end, what do I want to say? That, believe me, it's not even safe at this stage to relocate to Europe, because Europe, it could turn into a mayhem very soon. Very, very soon. Now I'm expecting that the situation can only get worse, and I don't know what's gonna happen. We will probably enter at war. Anyway, let's see who will be the first who they're gonna send to fight the Russians. If we have the chance, I mean, what is the goal? If the European Union and the United States, they are saying, okay, our goal is this. And then if you're not achieving this goal, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get in even worse, the situation. We're gonna deteriorate even more. We're gonna make our life here even more impossible, because the complaints are high every day from people who are living in Europe and also in the United States. The cost of the life is mad. Young generations that have problems to purchase a house because they cannot afford it. The prices are so high. Everything is so high. We can barely pay the bills. Now, or you put already yourself in a protected situation that you are fine. But if you didn't put yourself, I don't know what might happen now in the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Instead of talking about peace, because this is all what we should do, I mean, only demanding for peace. No, no. Our politicians don't like the peace. So we need to give more weapons. We need to send troops, that we are already late. I would have sent already 3 years ago the troops. I'm saying this to everyone. Why we haven't sent from the very beginning? We should have won this war, not losing it. At the moment it seems like we are losing it, because it looks like Ukraine didn't gain anything. We are not getting anything. We are paying for this war. We are actually paying. Always the taxpayers are paying for these things. Anyway, for me, at the moment, I see the very dark side of Europe. I say that situation is deteriorating badly, badly. I don't know anymore what to expect. Maybe tomorrow we'll wake up and things are completely already in a new, we are totally in a new world, totally reshaped, totally send your children. I'm lucky, I don't have children. I'm already in an age that might not be the first to be called to go at war. But 47, 48, let's say nearly 48, I'm still in the age. In Ukraine, they're calling people up to 60 years old now to fight. I mean, anyway, be ready. Be ready to send your children who have children. Be ready. Anyway, if you're familiar with the war, fine. I mean, you're already familiar. You might send, okay, go. But who is not familiar? And again, there are a lot of things that are not going well, in particular here in Europe, apart what is going on in Ukraine. Families are struggling badly. I see here, there is the food bank, even here in Montemilone. There is the food bank. They are collecting food for people who don't have money, for people who are barely paying the bills, with all the prices skyrocketing. So, do we want to win this war? Okay, let's do it. We should have done something already much, much before, not now. It seems like we are not able to defeat Russia, because if our goal was not only to kick the Russians out from Ukraine, that we failed badly, we failed. Now, at one stage, a normal, sober person, anyway, it's like two boxers fighting and one goes on the floor constantly. I mean, what's the point? The game is over at one stage. I mean, after 10 seconds that you are on the floor, the game is over. So who is gonna declare here when the game is over? Now, dark sides for Europe are waiting for. And I know very well this. Now, I'm sorry to make such a fear-mongering video, but I have to say that our politicians, this European Union, it's a total disaster. Total. And I don't know where they can bring us. To be honest, at this stage, I'm worrying even for tomorrow. I cannot even make a plan, a 6 months plan. At this stage, it became even harder to make a 6 months plan. I'm living the life, day by day. I'm already where I wanted to be. So now I'm only there watching news daily and see where else they can bring it. What worse can happen tomorrow that didn't happen today. Okay, my friends, so I hope you enjoyed this video. There's nothing we can do. We are at the window watching what is going on, and I'll see you to my next video with better contents for sure. Let's try to go back to relocating happily to Italy to find cheap properties and so on, hoping that nothing bad is gonna happen and situation is not gonna deteriorating more than already it is. Okay, my friends, I'll see you to my next video on Italy, A Place to Love YouTube channel. Bye!